you can tell everybody that this is your song, that this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done.
Welcome back once again. I am Ryan Keyes, your host, with a little show I like to call Spirituality with a Spin. And on this spiritual Sunday, we are going to spin out of control. We're going to talk about a topic that is near and dear to me because I am always battling the beast. 11/27/2016, that was a little snip of music from a movie that I love called Moulin Rouge, sung by Ewan McGregor. This is your song. Some movies that I really totally dig. It's a Wonderful Life. Life is Beautiful. The Notebook. The Fountain. What Dreams May Come. Cloud Atlas. Age of Adeline. And then some movies I truly dig. White Christmas. The Bells of St. Mary. Miracle on 34th Street. Brigadoon. And one of my all-time classics, Singing in the Rain. That's right, I like musicals. I'm man enough to admit I like musicals. And if you ever see me, somehow, some way, somewhere in this big wide open world that we live in, if we happen to cross paths at a movie theater and it is at a musical, I would sit far away from me. Because the chances of me singing along are super high. I'm just saying. Because I get caught up in the moment. I'm in a moment, and I'm in the magic of that music, and I am caught up, and I am singing, I am dancing. You saw my video on the other day. I can't control it. It's out of control. Don't try to control it. Let that fire burn. Set it free. I'm like, yeah. You should have seen me at the Phantom in Vegas. God, I thought they were going to kick me out. Because I know the Phantom. I know all the songs. Yeah, I do. Oh, the people that went with me were really shocked. Hey, that's just me. I am more than what you bargained for, and a lot more is on the way. So, today I want to talk about something that is related to the soulmate search, to the success that you're going to have in the soulmate search, to your twin flame, to the twin flame pain, to the rationalization of this is my person that I want to be with, to the infiltration of what I want versus what is one. Can I get a hallelujah? Let's come from the heart. The differences between your soul and your ego. I've been faced with ego a lot lately. I just did a show for 30 minutes. And by the time I listened to it to edit it, I'm sitting there listening. I'm so frustrated. I'm gritting my teeth. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? I'm talking out of ego. I can't do it. I got to delete all of this. Yeah. It sneaks up on you like that, I tell you. It can. It's like a shadow sometimes. It's just right there behind you and you don't even know it. I think that's why they did the reference of the little angel on the shoulder and the devil on the other shoulder. So that inner voice, your intuition, the voice of what you're listening to, is it coming from your head or your heart? Because if it's coming from your head, the chances are it's going to be a little bit ego-based. And I have to say, one of my biggest transformational moments in my life thus far is when I realized the difference between my soul, which is love, and my ego, which is dog, eat dog, desire. Takes a lot of digging to get there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm feeling? Because what is ego? I mean, ego is image, right? Whether it's a good image or a bad image, that's still ego. It's that social mask, that face we put on, that how we want to be seen versus how we really are. It's the titles, the roles. Like, are you my colleague? Are you my teammate? Are you my boss? Are you my employee? Are you my salvation? Are you my girlfriend? Are you my wife? Are you my twin flame? Are you my soulmate? Are you my karmic twin? All that's ego. I mean, you don't have to agree with me, but it is. It comes from the brands. Gucci. If I put two shoes side by side and one says Payless and one says Gucci, are you going to grab the Gucci or are you going to grab the Payless? Ego. If you've got a Hyundai and a Mercedes and they're both brand new and somebody says you can pick either one, what are you going to pick? Right. I rest my case. So you can learn to spot your ego. I'm learning. I've got some wonderful, beautiful people in my life that help me spot it. Even when I don't want to see it, they do. They give me a helping hand. Yeah. I'm able to spot it myself, though. I can get caught. Think about it like sometimes when you're obsessing, when you're dwelling on something, when you're circling that like a vulture. Ego can keep you circling that. Obsessing is ego-based, right? Because if you were allowing, you're not obsessing. Like if I'm alone and my love of my life left me and is somewhere else, and I'm obsessing over them, is that love? Well, I can convince myself that it is love if I'm obsessing over them, but if I'm allowing them to be happy, if they found somebody else, I'm allowing that because I truly love them, I'm coming from a place of love of my heart. Or if my head is allowing me to be obsessed, thinking, well, I'm better than that person they're with. Why didn't they pick me? How could they do this to me? See? Oh, this is so frustrating. This is like trying to play that game, Break the Ice, when you're hitting the ice and the little man in the center and you don't want him to fall and it's like getting to the edge. You're like, crack. Oh, shit, it's my turn. I got to go again? No! It's like the game Jenga when you pull out the blocks and it starts to wave. So, emotions a lot of times consume us, right? Hurt, disappointment, anger, frustration. They consume you. A lot of people are feeling hurt. A lot of people are feeling frustrated. A lot of people are feeling angry. Your inner dialogue becomes really fixated and focused on your fear, your doubt, criticism, anxiety. I'm not good enough. I'm not beautiful. I can't do that. I'm totally stuffed. I ate too much. I'm bad at this. My life is meaningless. I'm worthless. Shit, I was going through some of that today. Because we're all human and sometimes these holidays can bring out that ego part of it, that part. So, your worth is not dependent on an external thing. Your worth is not dependent on a partner, a mortgage, a car, a bank account, a job, what you wear, or how many people you have on Instagram. Your worth isn't defined by that. We live in this technological world. So a lot of things we get, and I just read a really, really good book. One of my dear friends that I've known for almost 16 years referred it to me. And this book talks about the reptile brain. And it talks about how the reptile brain is completely being fed by social media. Because we can get instant gratification. Like you can post a picture on Instagram and right away you know if that like is going off and going viral or if it's like you're like sitting there and you're like, well, it's been up for an hour and a half and I only got one like. Come on. Isn't it? It's so weird. And it's what's really weird is it's just lurking around, right? It's like the creepy guy at the bar trying to go out with a girl that does not have any intention of talking to him. It's the creeper. So your ego is like the creeper in the back of the room, waiting for you to just give it some time. So to get to a place where we don't need validation is very important. When I took my week of silence and I separated from everything, technology and people, and I went into silence, deep, deep, deep into silence at a monastery where it was about getting close to your God, getting close to who you are, getting close to what you see. I was at this monastery and I felt damn good. And of course, coming back, everybody was like, wow, what happened to you? You are like detached. You can't get back. I couldn't get back into the swing of things. I couldn't get back into the social media. I couldn't get back into the calling to people. I couldn't get back. Even my mom was like, what's wrong with you? So, but I encourage people to take that leap of faith, jump out, go into a little bit of a silent meditation at different times, go into some silence, unsnap. Take the plug out of the wall. Do some, go dark every now and then when it comes to social media, and only what you need to do to survive and to thrive, and the people that you need to deal with them. But the extraneous things that you don't need in your life, unplug from every now and then. Regain perspective. Clear house. It's like fasting. Fasting helps your body. It helps your temple. It gives you a place of where it helps you recannibalize fat that's on your body. It helps you to reset your insulin levels. It helps you to reset your metabolism. Same thing. This is going to help you to reset your soul. So another part of, and this is where I have a little bit of an issue. I'm going to be upfront and honest on this. Do you get hurt really easy? Are you sensitive? Do you get easily bruised when things don't go your way? When people don't act the way you expect them to? Or do people let you down? Like people say something or do something that offends you? Do you know that that's when your ego's in charge? I do. I didn't, but I researched it and I went involved in looking for answers to what's going on with me at different times. And yeah, it is sad but true. So ego is something we have to live with, but we don't have to listen to. We can't make it shut up, but we don't have to believe what it has to say, right? We can learn not to take it seriously because it's not really who we are. The ego is going to be really body-centric. It's going to be really mind-centric. So now we're going to talk about what do you do? So if you're coming from a place of ego, and some of the things I said in your relationship, whether it's separation or whether you're having some tough times or whether you're having some rationalization, that mirror relationship, that soulmate relationship, that twin flame relationship is going to be kind of a tit for tat, a tennis match of this soul versus ego. The only way that you're truly going to accomplish anything in this, to go from the 5-dimensional to the 3-dimensional to the multi-dimensional, is learning a different way to present yourself, learning a different way to see yourself. Unfortunately, even me being a law of attraction coach, law of attraction has its place, but you have to be careful because it becomes very ego-based. That's why I don't like to call it the law of attraction. I like to call it the law of co-creation. Don't create your beach house. Create resources for the world. Don't worry about the Mercedes as much as worry about all the mammals on the planet. And I know I'm being a little bit grandiose, but you get sometimes I have to say it in really exponential ways to make a point so that you can dial it down for what works for you. So how can you learn when your soul's in charge? Let's go there first. How do we know when our godlike person is up on point? When that Holy Spirit is kicking in, when that voice, that inner voice is the voice you can trust? How do you know that? When you get intuition, when the inner voice guides you with a gut feeling based on love. When you pull up to the stop sign and there's a homeless guy there, and you don't think, oh, well, he just needs money for alcohol. Something just inside you says, give that guy $5. And you give him $5. He gives you a smile. You smile back. You have a moment. And you go about your day. And if somebody asks you if it happened, yeah, you'll talk about it. But you leave it there. You just take that little bit of goodness with you that your soul, your heart, your love spoke and involved someone else, right? We are magnificent, divine beings. I will never believe, no matter who presents it to me, that I crawled out of a mud pit. Sorry, I refuse to believe it. I will not believe it. There's no scientific data that says I crawled out of a mud pit. There's theory, but there's no proof. Bring me proof, then we'll talk. But so I believe that I'm divine, that something designed me, that I'm perfect in the way that I'm presented. even if I feel chubby one day, or even if I eat too much one day. Now, then it becomes to a place of, coming from a place of love is treating my body like the temple that it should be treated as. And that comes with a whole different list of things. But we've talked about it before in the past. So if I'm being gluttonous a little bit, I'm curtailing a little bit to some other areas, but not really necessarily ego, but there's a lot of other subconscious areas that go into the art of me overeating or not treating my body right or not exercising. So as long as I'm coming from a place of love, loving myself, seeing myself through love, I begin to realize and accept myself on a deeper level. You get burning desires, you get goals, and your sense of self-worth and happiness isn't dependent on that goal. Like, I want to do a lot of things. I envision doing a lot of things and helping a lot of people. Unfortunately, at times, my self-worth is tagged to my ability to touch more people. So if I do something and it doesn't go well, or if it doesn't go the way I expected, I get butthurt. That's a phrase that we use lots. I get butthurt. I feel invalidated. And I'm being honest. Judge me if you choose, but I'm being honest. So sometimes I'll set my expectations really high, and I'll fail it, and I'll feel a little bit of a victim to myself, of feeling like I failed. And that's not a place of soul, that's a place of ego. So I can't feel, I'm always doing my best. I'm always seeing my best. Everything is happening for my best. Even if I mess up, even if I do something wrong, I'm still on point and I'm still on part of a plan, and everything is going the way as planned. So as long as I maintain that, I'm in soul. You're also forgiving of others. You're more easily able to accept people as they are, with their faults and those oddities that they bring to you that you may not always see eye to eye with. You can forgive somebody for hurting you. You can acknowledge someone for being who they are. And then that's soul. That's coming from a place of soul, coming from a place of heart. Soul, I'm saying heart. Your preferences, your desires, and your ideas will bubble up from inside, not external things. You don't want to do it just to be socially accepted. You don't want to do it just because it's the cool thing. You don't want to do it just because it's going to result in something. But it's this preference, it's this desire, it's this inner guidance. This show that I'm doing is my inner guidance. Opening up myself like this is how I feel inside. I'm doing it because it's my inner desire. I feel a great need to help, to make a difference in people's lives. Now, even in that, there is a little bit of work. I have to maintain a very tight walk, not allowing social media or society or external influences to influence how I do things. I can't see a topic gets a lot of views and then try to emulate that topic over and over and over in certain ways if that's not what I'm feeling organic about, if it's not something that's coming from me and who I am. I'm not being true to my soul, I'm not being true to my heart, and I have to do it a little bit different. It makes sense a little bit. And all of this is going to translate as well into the twin flame, the soulmate search, the separation phase, the acknowledgement phase, that tit for tat, that mirrored existence, that evolution of self, allowing them to be who they are, them allowing you to be your true self, not coveting the circumstance or the events, not jeopardizing your soul mission, what you feel inside, not adhering to something just because you hear a brand, not labeling something just because it sounds like that's the way that the train is driving. But you really want to get a feeling of being in the flow where you're losing yourself in something you love. Like when I go swimming, I just swim and I don't even think about it. Or when I'm writing, I just write and I lose myself. When I'm hiking, I just go and I just lose myself. I'm just exploring nature. I'm feeling like a kid. I'm feeling very giddy. I'm in a place of soul experience. For some people, it's cooking. If you love cooking and that's what you do, you're experiencing your soul as you're doing it. Your soul is going to feel effortless, and the universe is just going to push you forward gently like a stream. You feel free. You feel fearless. You feel empowered. You just want to build a beautiful life. You begin to understand your purpose. You begin to follow the dharma of life, that your dharma is your karma, your heart song. Wayne Dyer used to talk about that song that you hear inside of yourself. And whatever the song is, you just sing it. It doesn't matter if anybody else likes it. There is a lady, her last name is Mojani. Wayne Dyer helped her to write a book. She had an experience where it was near death as well. She had stage 4 cancer. And she went through this, and she lived. She woke up. She was dead. I mean, she died from cancer. And when she came back, she was completely healed. So she wrote a book about it, not expecting anything, not expecting anybody to ever read it. And Wayne Dyer came across it, and he made her a phenomenon. And she came from a place not even seeking it. See how that works? Your soul is eternal. It's always present. Even if you don't want it, you still have it. So pay attention to it. You can build your better relationships through stillness and meditation and time in nature, journaling, writing, being more authentic, being silent, stepping away from all technology and social media at some points, fasting from people, fasting from technology, fasting from food, becoming more open-hearted. That's how you get to your authentic self. That's how you learn the call signs for when ego comes a-calling. And you hear, "Hey, Ryan, you look a little fat today." "I do? Oh, shit, I look fat today. I feel insecure now. I'm going to be in a bad mood." "Yes? Hey, Ryan, that video you put up only got 25 views. You suck." "Oh, man, I spent so much work doing that. Jeez, and nobody liked it. Why didn't anybody like it? I thought it was good. Nobody liked it." Victimization. Being a victim is also ego. So that's an example. Crude examples, but that's an example. So learn to listen to your soul when it speaks to you. Trust and act on that advice when it's given to you, that little inner voice. And stop letting people's opinion of you harm you. Stop letting external circumstances dictate you and harm you. People can have their opinion of you. Really. They can. Let them. It's your opinion of you that counts. If you can manage to tap into this deeper part of you, even just for 10 minutes a day, you're going to start to become much more you. So even start by 5 minutes of being your authentic self. And it's like the push-up challenge. Add one every day. You got 6 minutes of being authentically you. Next week, you might have 7 minutes. Well, by next year, you might have friggin' 6 hours a day where you're authentically you, coming from a place of self. Your soul. No longer ego. No longer allowing extraneous circumstances or external events or somebody else's desires that's running society to dictate what you feel, what you believe, how you conceive, how you perceive. You're coming from this true organic self, where nobody's guilting you into doing something, because you can't be guilted, because you're confident in you. You're confident in yourself. And we're all going through this. Don't feel like it's something that we're not all going through. We're all going through that. Get in the current, stay in the current, realize that your emotions that are good are going to be powerful. And then start to understand, if you do feel sad, if you do feel unhappy, if you do feel irritated or angry, those are symptoms of ego, but they're also places and points of reference for you to be able to come to a higher rationalization of being in love and operating in love and sharing love. Everything is an awakening point, really. Everything is a potential place where you become more of who you are, where you learn to become more of a communicator of heart, where you can slow down your reaction and turn it into satisfaction of action, where you are materializing into the physical reality, into this consciousness, what is going to be in line with that oneness, with that message of love. Once you start to release those past patterns, those past ailments, the relationships that didn't work, the activities that you resent, the habits that are bad, that conflict with your present, you unlock the potential of love. Because you start loving yourself and you become more comfortable with being who you are, you begin to start seeing yourself in a different light. You begin to allow yourself to be here in the moment, to be focused, manifesting your desires from your higher self. No longer manifesting stuff because it is an ego-based desire. You're cutting out a lot of the narcissistic tendencies that get you into trouble, that start fights. You're manifesting instead of from obsession, which is attached from the fear of not having. You begin to manifest for the masses, not just for the micro of you. Because the ego loves to be in control and loves to want. In fact, the more things that you want, the happier your ego is going to be. Until you start to understand and you start to see that your soul is not being fed from the chase because it's a waste, then you start to manifest from your higher self. And then suddenly, it's less about asking and receiving, it's more about being open to receive. Like Eckhart Tolle, I mentioned him, one of the things he loves to say is, instead of asking, what do you want from my life? Ask, what does life want from me? And then you just begin to manifest from a higher self. You begin to move through life from your higher self. You don't serve your little small egotistical ways. You cater more to the higher loving path. Because the ego just loves to control. It loves to manifest. It loves to tick off that wish list of traits and things that you desire, that you need from your job, from your everything. Well, I want someone that's dark hair, blue-eyed, this and that, to I want to drive a car that's great, that's got big, So instead of clicking off these little tickers, these boxes that are ticked, you begin to allow and you begin to feel the higher self. And you trust the universe to bring you the right person at the perfect time. You trust the universe to open the door for you. You trust God, even though you don't visualize it. That's when they say love is patient, love is kind, love is understanding, love is not possessive, love does not hurt. Because when you create your vision board and your dream board on a deeper level with trust, you start to reduce the level of circumstantial, collateral damage in your life. Because there's a lot of times when we make a decision, that decision not being based on love, being based on our ego. I do it. Let me volunteer first. I'll do it and I'll step up and say, yes, I've done it. I'll make a decision. I'll just directly put it on me. I'll make a decision out of my ego and confront something because it hurts me or makes me feel invalidated or makes me feel unworthy. I'll confront it instead of accepting it and loving, and I'll fight back, creating a fight, creating a rift, creating a separation, instead of being allowing and letting whatever falls into my lap that is truth, rest, and anything that's not, fall to the wayside as the chaff. Getting the wheat from the chaff when they're shaking that grain. That your higher self becomes that shaking that grain. So the things that are going to stick in your life, they're going to be beneficial for your life. They stay in that screen. Everything else just falls down to the ground. Instead of allowing the ego to sit there and pick out the grains, you're going the faster, more express path, allowing love to bring it to you instead of trying to pick and choose what you don't even know you need. And I'm not talking about being passive and sitting back. You're still being active. You're still going forward. You're just relaxed and you release control. So you begin to unveil the store of all this potential. You're guided in the appropriate step. You're appropriate action, and everything is at the appropriate time. Like when I say my prayer, I say, may the doors be closed that are should be closed. May the doors that should be open. Because I'm trusting in God. I'm trusting in the universe. I'm trusting in the source, that divine love, to open those doors and close those doors so that I can go freely and effortlessly from one to the other. And I'm also giving acknowledgement that I'm not going to let my ego dictate what I feel, because my ego is so heavily swayed, especially these days, with vision and perception and what we're being told is what we want. You see a commercial for a Lexus with a big bow on it, they're telling you you want this car. They're telling you that that kid in the back seat that is super happy with a big smile and your wife sitting there looking at you with a big smile is going to give you that if you buy that car. No, it's not. It's going to give you a big ass car payment, a big ass insurance payment, and you're going to be paying almost $1,000 a month, and there is no smiling kid in the back seat, and your wife's not going to sit there and look at you with big beautiful eyes except for maybe the first 2 days that you bought the car, and then when you get a scratch on it, she's going to look at you like you scratched it. There's so many examples. Hold on to the entire life force of this universe inside of you. Begin to let love and that energy flow through you and move through you rather than trying to control where it goes. Start to open up to infinite possibilities. Stop limiting yourself to what is only a probability, and stop seeing things that are impossible. When you begin to do that, you're going to change the vibration, you're going to change your attraction, you're going to begin to attract things that you don't even realize that are this wonderful event. Because sometimes I believe we don't even know what our best higher self wants, because we're so indoctrinated from this commercialized facade of the system. Just wish for your highest path and your greatest potential to serve the best path and the best possible good. Open those doors which should be open and close those doors which should be closed. There's a long show today. I'm also going to post a video that I did. I found it in my archives. I did it a few weeks back, but it's got some good messages in it, but I'm going to post that also later on today or tomorrow. So peace, light, and love. I will see you on the other side as we go out with a little Moulin Rouge.